Okay, hello everyone. Basil Smith and I'm Mitchell Fontenot, and we are going to be doing most of the teaching for St. Elizabeth's confirmations, both 1 and 2. And we're doing it out of Chosen. That is all of the information that we're going to feed to your kids. And it's a pretty good program, Basil.
It's a 24 lesson program, so we divide it into 2 years to our 9th and 10th grade. So chapters 1 through 12 will be for the Confirmation 1 students, and 13 through 24 will be for the Confirmation 2. So the objective of this video is to provide you, the parents, with at least the content that we're teaching for the given week, and some questions you might could ask your kid dealing with that topic. And we had our first 2 classes were actually with Confirmation 2.
Right. We haven't done 1 yet.
So we're dealing with chapters 13 and 14 in this video, and dealing with primarily the Holy Spirit and the gifts of the Holy Spirit, which was chapter 13. So we did talk about the Trinity being 3 persons in one nature. We talked about the person of the Holy Spirit being the love between the Father and the Son as an introduction. And then we talked about those gifts of the Holy Spirit that are given to us at baptism, but then further sealed with us during the Sacrament of Confirmation.
Were the fruits in there?
The fruits were talked about.
Okay. So these are these are some of the things that the Holy Spirit gives us when we are sealed with that Holy Spirit. Now, and one of the things we also talked about, and it kind of bled over into 14, was the sacraments, and how at baptism you receive the Holy Spirit, but at confirmation you receive the fullness of the Holy Spirit in essence. At baptism we're cleansed of original sin, and the Holy Spirit comes upon our heart. But then at confirmation, which is what 14 was all about, is the actual sealing, and that's exactly what the bishop does. He will seal the chrism oils upon your forehead, and you will receive the Holy Spirit at that time.
Yeah, so typically in chapter 8 we deal with the sacraments in general, but I did cover that a little bit this past Sunday in light of them not having participated in the Chosen program last year. So we basically taught them that the sacrament is an outward sign of an inward grace instituted by Christ. The sacraments are given to us through Christ, by the Holy Spirit, through His church. So it kind of comes to us through the Catholic Church. And the focus of chapter 14 was on the particular Sacrament of Confirmation. So we did go through the matter, which is the chrism oil, the form, which is the bishop saying be sealed with the gift of the Holy Spirit, and then who the recipient was any baptized person, and then the minister is typically the bishop, can be a priest
if the bishop gives him that
delegation. So.
And the other thing too is what's really important is in that sacrament the outward say it again, I'm not going to break
inward sign.
The outward sign of an inward grace.
Yeah.
The outward sign of inward grace. And I actually use baptism, which is kind of easy, but the sacrament of confirmation is the same way. In baptism they pour water upon your head, showing the sins being washed away. It's a physical representation. God, everything is spiritual with Jesus. He brought the Spirit upon us. He gave us the Spirit, right? He said he gave us the Paraclete. But what He did for us, because we are very physical, everything is physical to us, He gave us these sacraments to better understand what was truly happening on a spiritual level.
And utilizes the material to affect the spiritual.
So that's what we're trying to convey to the kids and understand, what is going on in confirmation. All right.
So a little thing we do at the end of each class is we have a challenge of the week. So in chapter 13, some of them are lighthearted things like give a gift to someone, implying some thought about the gifts of the Holy Spirit. That one of them was do some weightlifting to show that, you know, we receive these gifts, but we do have to work and develop them, and things like that. That was a challenge of the week in 13, and then in lesson 14, some of the challenges were, you know, to look at the parish website and the bulletin and see what active ministries are there, because once we're gifted with the seal of the Holy Spirit, we get the gifts of the Holy Spirit. We're supposed to use them.
Got to use them.
And
I mean, you can't let it sit there. And it's like I told the kids in Revelations. Jesus said not to be lukewarm, and lukewarm means don't sit around and do nothing. You know, because he said he would literally vomit you out of his mouth, and it was quite.
Yeah, we brought that up.
It's quite descriptive. And so that's kind of what, you know, with this particular little video, which is not very long. We want you parents to understand what we are looking at, and we want you to get with your kids and basically look at this yourself. This may even help you in remembering the things that you went through confirmation, and also may even help, you know, understanding the sacraments, the fruits, the gifts of the Holy Spirit. We want you to be involved with this because, you know, it is us as parents, it is our responsibility to get our kids there, but at the same time, confirmation ends up being the responsibility of your child in making the decision to be a disciple of Christ. And we want that child to understand what that truly is, you know, what that truly is.
Just one takeaway, you can ask your kid what saint name did they pick to be confirmed with, and help look them up, see what their history of that saint is, and
I'm a big proponent of that. I think looking up the saints and understanding their lives, because they give us an example that we can live by, and I think that's a great idea.
And if they don't have their saint yet, just we'll have to pick one.
That's exactly right. That's exactly
well,
right.
Thank y'all.
Thank you guys very much. And we're going to be doing this pretty much every week.